Hello and welcome back to Alive Wellness. My name is Emma, I'm your Pilates instructor and I'm so excited for today's workout. Today we are taking it back to absolute basics. Over the next 4 weeks, I want to teach you the true meaning of Pilates. I'm not talking that fad Pilates word that a lot of you might have heard or know or find a little bit overwhelming, but we're taking it back to the mat. We're going to work slow and we're going to really focus on that deep core connection, that glute engagement, posture awareness, and learn why Pilates is so beneficial for longevity. So if you like this video, please subscribe, give it a like, a comment, share it around. You have no idea how much that helps us so that we can continue to keep giving you guys these videos for free. So we're going to start on our backs, and remember, this is beginner Pilates. We are going to be working slow. Let's just find our way down onto the mat here to start. Now I want you to place your feet into the mat and your hands by your side. Now in your position here, I'm just going to talk about your neutral spine for a second. So when you're just released into the mat, we should have no tension here. Let's just begin to focus on that breath a little bit. Each time you inhale, feel your ribs expanding. And as you exhale, feel them softening down, sinking into the mat. Now, as you move here, I want you to really hone into this thing we call neutral spine. I want you to imagine you've got a string through the crown of your head. It's like someone is pulling that string, lengthening your spine. Your pelvis is heavy into the mat. Your hands are by your side, your shoulder blades are sinking down, your collarbones are wide. From here, I want you to just notice how your pelvis sits into the mat. Without flattening or arching your lower back, I want you to really gently float your right leg up into tabletop. So tabletop, your knee comes over your hip, your shin is parallel with the mat. Now in this position, I want you to make sure that your back has not moved. We haven't let it flatten or arch away. We're just going to pause with that right leg up. Then we're going to float that right foot down. Now we alternate sides. That left leg is going to come up, work really slow. Again, notice that your lower back does not move. Then float that left foot down. Now we always use the breath in Pilates to help guide the movement, to help us feel the contraction through the muscles. So as we work, I want you to exhale as you lift the leg up through the harder part of the movement. And inhale as you lower that leg back down nice and slowly here. Now we're just beginning to bring a little bit of movement through the hips and feel a light bit of activation through the stomach without letting our spine move out of neutral. We are going to take this movement into a little bit of a bigger range now. You're going to float the right foot up and pause. From here, I want you to keep your pelvis really still. Allow the left leg to come up as well, so they're both in tabletop. Then lower that right foot back down, lower that left foot back down. Now we're gonna alternate here. This time that left leg floats up first. We still use that full exhale to float both feet up. And we use that inhale to lower back down with control. Now we're going to continue to move through this. I want you to really focus on going slow and focus on where that activation is. So as I said, we don't move that lower back. We allow our spine to stay in this neutral position. We're drawing in now to those real deep lower abs. This is your transverse abdominals or your pelvic floor. Both of those parts of your abs work together to contract and release, to support your pelvis and support your spine. So especially those of you who sit at a desk all day or find that you don't move a lot, we really allow these muscles to switch off and become super weak. So as you move through the Pilates today, I want you to focus on letting the slow, deep connection of these muscles help support your pelvis switch back on to allow you to move with a little bit more ease. We take one more here, use that full exhale to float the feet up. And that full inhale to lower the feet back down. We're going to pause here. Keep that neutral spine. So again, your hips are level. We're not flattening or arching your lower back. we're allowing our hips to just sink into the mat. You're going to bring your hands behind your head. Now really support your head with those hands. They're there to support you, not help you in the movement. From here, we're going to take a really small crunch. Now you're starting from the lower part of your belly. You're then lifting up towards your belly button. We want to look towards our belly button at the top. Then gently release back down, keeping the head heavy into the hands. Let's use our exhale to come up. Use our inhale to lower down. Now in this position, again, we keep our neutral spine. Now a little image I like to work with here is you can imagine that you've got a tiny little fruit, so either the size of a blueberry, maybe you've got a slightly bigger gap between your lumbar and the mat. You might have a grape, but whatever size fruit can fit between your lower back and the mat. I want you to keep that fruit there as we move. So we're never flattening that fruit. We're not squishing it down, but we're also not letting it roll away. We're just gently holding it in place. Now, I always want you to keep that fruit there unless I tell you otherwise. So we want to try to work with that neutral spine the whole time, so that when we eventually come up to standing, we start to move around, we sit, we continue to work through that neutral. We've already allowed our core muscles to work in that neutral position so that they are always switched on, supporting us as we move. Exhale up. Inhale down. Really continue to work slow here. Feel that full breath bringing space into the body. We have 3 more crunches like this. Now again, this is a Pilates beginner class. I want to teach you those true fundamentals. We're going to stay up on that next one. Pause. Make sure your fruit is still between your lower back and the mat. From here, we're just going to take little pulses now. So you're squeezing deeper into your belly as we continue to pulse. Now it is a Pilates beginner workout, but even if you're someone who's been doing a lot of Pilates, it is always really important to come back to the basics, to really understand why we do these moves. Right now we are pulsing to bring extra endurance to those deep core muscles, those stabilizing muscles. We're here for 3, 2, 1. I want you to release back down. Allow your head to drop onto the mat. Continue to keep that neutral spine by finding that string through the crown of your head, allowing someone to pull it to lengthen you. Hands come by your side now. Now from here, I want you to find a tilt in your pelvis. So now we are going to squish that fruit. You're tilting your pelvis towards you, but instead of holding that squished fruit there, we're going to continue to lift our hips up. We're going to roll through our spine and find our way up into a bridge. Now keep your weight through your heels, nice and even through the feet. At the top of your bridge, we pause for a second. Then I want you to lower from that breastbone and roll back down gently, finding each vertebrae to sit down separately. At the bottom, we touch the pelvis down and then we tilt it away, allowing our fruit to roll away. So let's add the breath. We exhale, tilt your pelvis towards you. Begin to roll up into a bridge. Nice and gentle here. Let's pause those hips at the top. Keep your weight placement even. We inhale here and then we exhale to roll slowly back down. And as you plant those hips back down, we inhale and tilt our pelvis away from us. Let's take one more full round here. Exhale and begin to roll slowly, controlled. Notice that you're not shifting your weight to one foot. The weight stays even. We pause at the top. Take a nice big inhale. Exhale, begin to roll back down. Feel that mobility through the spine. Allow some space to be created through the vertebrae. At the bottom, we're going to tap the hips down. We're going to pause for a second here. Now again, I want you to make sure your weight is placed even between the feet. Find that little blueberry or grape and hold it between your sacrum and the mat, your lower back and the mat. From here, we're gonna lift our hips straight up into a bridge. So you're activating through your glutes. We're driving those hips up. We're gonna pause at the top. And then I want you to lower the hips straight back down. We're gonna touch the mat here. So this time we're going straight up and down. Exhale to lift up, engage the glutes. Inhale to lower back down as you release them. Now, as you move here, I want you to just take a little bit of awareness to your shoulder blades and your collarbones. So I want those collarbones to be really wide. Imagine that they're smiling open. And at the same time, your shoulder blades are melting into your mat. We have hardly any tension through our upper body. Most of the work is coming into that lower body here. Now we're just sending those hips straight up and down, but you're initiating by squeezing your glutes. So what we're doing here is we're finding that activation through the glutes to allow us to move a little bit easier. Again, this is another part of your body that really switches off as we sit all day. So we want to bring that activation back to support the pelvis as we begin to move, to allow us to get up and down off the ground with a little bit more ease, and to allow us to find a bit of mobility through the pelvis, through the spine. Let's go for 3 more. We still have that string through the crown of the head. We're still lengthening our spine. We go for 2. Now on that next one, I want you to keep those hips up. I want you to pause here, hold it. We're going back to those pulses. We're gonna build endurance. Let's take small little squeezes up here. Again, check that you are not shifting the weight to one side. It stays nice and even. We go for 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold on one, stay. Feel really strong in this position. And release. Down. Place your hips back on the mat. Let's bring the feet wide and let's just drop the knees side to side gently here. So allow those hip flexors to release any tension we might have held there. Feel that mobility and that stretch through your lumbar spine. We're gonna work a little bit more endurance through the core now. Again, thinking of those deep core muscles. So I want you to plant your feet back on the mat. We stay in this position on our backs for 1 more exercise. Now I want you to take a really big breath in here. Allow your ribs to expand. As you exhale, just feel that neutral spine. Find your fruit between your lower back and the mat and allow your feet to float back into your tabletop position. Do not let your back move. So remember, we don't flatten, we don't arch, we hold it in that nice lengthened position. Now from here, you're just gonna tap one foot down to the mat. Touch the toes down, keep that bent knee, then draw that leg back in to tabletop. We alternate sides, so tap down, lift up. Now I want you to exhale as you tap down. Now as you inhale and lift up, think of lifting through the pelvic floor, those lower abs. Something you can really try to imagine here is, it's like you really need to go toilet. You're really busting to go for a wee here. Now I don't want you to let that out. I want you to really hold that feeling as you move. Tighten through that lower part of the abdominals, lift up through that pelvic floor. It should be really deep work here rather than those superficial muscles. Exhale, tap, but really inhale, lift it up. Make sure you relax through that upper body. We focus on the movement controlled through the lower belly here. Those deep transverse abdominals are working. We go for 4, 3. Feel that endurance here as we keep those legs through tabletop. We go for 2. You're gonna take 1 more here. I want you to keep those legs in tabletop now. Pause. Just feel that position. Make sure even here you are feeling those lower abs switch on. Make sure your ribs aren't flaring out. We're drawing them, we're hugging them in towards each other. We're finding our fruit, we're holding it between our lower back and the mat. We're gonna stay in this position for 3, for 2, 1. Let's just release, place the feet down and then just bring them into your chest. Take a nice big squeeze here. Just gently rock side to side. Good. Now I'm going to bring a lot of sort of visual images as we work through, just to help you really imagine where you should be feeling that activation, either through the stomach, the glutes, the back, wherever we're working. Now try to remember those visualizations because they will help you find that activation. Now from here, we're going to roll over onto our side. I want you to come onto your left side to start. Now bring your left arm up towards the top of your mat, and I want you to have your knees bent. This is your Pilates side lying position. We're going to do a bit of deeper work into the glutes. Now in this position, your knees should be up towards the front of your mat, and your hips and heels should be in line with each other towards the back of the mat, in line with your spine. Now you can release your head onto your arm. You might want to prop it up. Maybe you want to place a pillow here, whatever feels comfortable for you. You're going to grab onto your top hip. Just press it away from you. Now, as you do that, you're allowing your trunk to come back into that neutral position. So we're not collapsing down, we're pressing that top hip away, we're activating through the stomach so the spine is supported. From here, we're gonna take a clam. So you're just gonna open up that top knee and then close it back down. It is a really small movement here. Notice that my hips aren't rocking. The hips are stacked on top of each other. That core is active to support you, and you're just allowing that top knee to lift through your range. Now the initiation comes from that glute. So we're squeezing our right glute, we're floating that right knee up, gently releasing it down. Now as we work here, we're working through our glute muscles, those real deep ones that often we don't get much use out of. Again, they really fall weak as we begin to sit down all day, as we live quite sedentary lives now. So I want you to find that deep glute, not core, that deep glute connection here. As you open and close that knee, begin to bring a little bit of fatigue here. We're going to continue to move through a slightly bigger range now. So this time I want you to float the foot up as well. Now that entire top leg, it's staying bent, but it's floating up. We're releasing it down. Now notice I'm not kicking it up. I'm starting the initiation by squeezing the glute. It floats gently, and then it gently floats back down. We exhale to lift up through that harder part of the movement. Inhale to tap back down. Now over the next 4 weeks, we will be working through quite a lot in this sideline position, but we're gonna be building on this. We're gonna be adding bands. We're gonna be adding bigger ranges through the movement. Really important to get these glute muscles really activated and worked so that we can continue to walk, to sit and stand throughout our days as we begin to move a bit more. Let's take 3 more here. We go for 2. Make sure you're not holding your breath. You want to allow it to continue to flow. Let's keep that leg up on your next one. Now from here, I want you to extend your leg long. It should be directly in line with you. So it's not forward, it's not backwards. We're engaging that core. We're sending our leg long. You're going to tap it straight down this time, and then float it back up. That same part of the glute initiates here. Squeeze into that abductor, allow your leg to float up, and then really control it back down. Exhale up, inhale down. Try again not to rush this movement. Let's check that those hips are still stacked. We're not flaring our ribs out. We're still engaging through those deep core muscles. The entire body should be active here, but it should be active with a little bit of ease. So that breath is going to help us find the length and the space through the movement. You've got 2 more here. You should feel that right glute super strong now. We're going to keep that leg up, take it into little pulses. Again, we continue to find that endurance as we move. Let's pulse for 4, 3, 2, 1, release. Good. Now from here, I want you to come up to sitting. Now that bottom leg, that left leg is going to stay bent. It's going to come forward. That right leg, the leg we just worked, is going to just bend behind us, and we're going to come into a zigzag seated position. Now, if this is uncomfortable, you can come to cross-legged. You might want to come up to kneeling, whatever feels comfy for you. But if you can, I want you in the zigzag here. Now we've got our string, we're growing taller, we're really lengthened, we've got a beautiful posture here. We're gonna grab our right arm, send it towards the bottom of our mat. Then I want you to lift it up. We're gonna take a big stretch over that left leg and just allow the head to release. Feel that length down the side of the body. Good, and then re-stack back up. Now we're finding a bit of mobility through that lateral range. Again, we really often don't move through this range, but it's really important to find length here, as actually we twist quite a lot through our day, and if we're not stretched and lengthened through this fascia, then we're going to find back injuries, we're going to have pulled rib muscles, we're going to have tight traps, which I'm sure a lot of you already probably have. Let's inhale, reach that arm up. Exhale, we take one more stretch over. Allow your head to release. And now allow the neck to be heavy. And let's re-stack back up. We're going to simply change onto that second side. So let's come down onto our right arm. Remember, our knees are at the front of the mat. Our hips and heels are in line with our spine towards the back of our mat. Now we're going to grab that top hip, press it away from us. Feel that engagement through the stomach. Grab that pillow if you need to. I want your head to be fully released here. We're going to come into our clam. So we lift and lower that top leg. Now remember, as we move, don't let those hips rock. So we're not opening and closing the hips. We're keeping them still by engaging that pelvic floor and just allowing your glute to initiate as you move. Let's hone in a little bit more on the breath on this side. So we're exhaling to float the leg up, inhaling to lower down. Remember, the breath is always so important. We so often hold our breath. All we're doing is we're creating more tension through the body, more tightness through the body. We're not allowing ourselves to work through our full range because everything is tightening up. So I want you to exhale through the hard part of the movement so that you can feel the contraction where we're trying to work, but you can also feel release through the rest of the body to create space for the muscle that is working to move. Let's go for 2 more here. And then I want you to float the foot up as well. So the entire leg is coming up. Then we're releasing it back down. Exhale up. Inhale down. Now as you move here again, we're also engaging through the core. So we always want to be really active through our trunk. It's not those outer abs. It's not about those superficial abs. It's about those inner abs. Really working the core around your spine, around your pelvis. Everything that is going to support you as you move. We go for 3, 2, check that you're not holding that breath on that next one. We're going to keep the leg up. Now from here, I want you to lengthen your leg out long. Make sure it's directly in line with you. We've got a lovely long line through the body. We tap that foot down. As you float it up, let's think of gliding it up. So we're not kicking it, we're gliding it. We're ensuring that the muscle is working to float it up rather than kicking it up and just using momentum here. Good, let's do 4 more. Take your time. Try to feel a little bit of that ease with the movement. By the end of these 4 weeks, I want you to understand your deep muscles, everything that's going to support you. And I want you to understand how we can move with a little bit more ease. Let's hold it on that next one and take it into those pulses. So it's a tiny little extra squeeze into that top glute. We go for 4, 3, 2. Let's float it down on 1. From here, we're going to come back up into that zigzag position. So this time your right leg is in front, your left leg is bent and behind. Remember, you can come to kneeling, you can sit on a cushion, whatever is easier for you. Now let's grow tall here. Let's pull up through our spine. We're going to reach that left arm towards our left leg. Lift it up and then take that lovely reach over. Release your head. Allow your fascia to pull away from the bones, from the organs, to stretch out. Let's re-stack back up. I want you to inhale, reach up. Exhale into that stretch. You can inhale here. Exhale to re-stack back up. Let's take one more here. Take an inhale. Exhale, come back up. Good. Let's just bring our feet in front of us. Let's plant our feet onto the ground here and then just gently drop your knees side to side. Allow the front of your hips to release. Now we've started to look at our transverse abdominals and our pelvic floor. We've started to look at those deep glute muscles, those abductors, bit of mobility through the spine. Now over the next 3 weeks, we're going to build on this, and I'm going to continue to teach you all the fundamentals of true mat Pilates and how that can really help you to feel better, to feel longer, to move slightly easier. Let's take a big breath in together here. So we're going to reach the arms up. Allow that oxygen to gather through your body. Reach through your fingertips. Exhale, allow the hands to drop. Restack your spine. You can roll the shoulders here. Set up your posture. As you go through your day, think of that string through the crown of your head, that engagement through your stomach. Thank you for joining me on the mat. Please, if you did like this video, can you like, comment, subscribe, share it around? We want to continue to make videos, so your help is really appreciated. But thank you.